Happy holidays, everybody. This is the Board Certified Gaming Podcast, the video game podcast that knows when you're sleeping and knows when you're awake. That's terrifying.
Nice.
I mean,
You said it.
But kids are like taught that. They're like, yeah, Santa Claus knows when you're
Keeps his
sleeping
eyes
and
peeled.
knows when you're awake. So he's watching you at all times.
All
But
7
yeah,
billion of us?
Great.
Really?
It's just
Come on now.
terrifying. I'm Andy. Amar's across from me.
Hey.
So, yeah, this is a video game podcast. This is part 3 of our Decade of Gaming and Review series. We had part 2 and part 1 previously, and now we're on part 3. Part trays.
3/4 of the way there?
Yes.
We've
Please.
got one more
after this.
One more episode for 2019.
For 2019
Should we look
and
back
the
on a
entire
decade of this podcast?
which we don't have a decade of this
Was
podcast.
this episode 16?
This is 18. I know.
Damn,
Our
so this podcast can buy cigarettes.
Yes, it can. Our podcast is an adult.
Our podcast
Technically.
strips.
There you go. Can vote.
Yes,
And
it
that's
can.
about it, I think. Well,
Damn.
actually, they're changing the smoking age to 21.
Well, our podcast will be grandfathered in.
There you go.
We'll
Turned
talk
18 already.
We'll talk about the dangers of smoking, but ultimately it's the podcast's choice. We can only try to guide them in the right direction.
Also, don't smoke.
Yeah, don't smoke.
So this is the Decade of Gaming in Review. The first 2 episodes, we went from 2010 to 2015. This episode, we're going to go from 2016, 2017, and 2018. Then the last episode, the 4th one, part 4, we're going to go 2019 and then 2020. We're going to look ahead because we
Because we already know what's going on next
Yeah,
year.
I mean, this entire podcast is basically the year 2019 in review. So it's going to be kind of like, yeah, this happened. We have a podcast on it. And we're going to say that multiple times. But this episode, we're going a little bit further back to 2016, 2017, and 2018. But first, before we get into that, and before I forget, because I have forgot a bunch of times, there's some things you guys can do. We have a Twitter account at BCG Podcast. Go follow it right now. Do it.
We'll give you a couple seconds.
Yeah, we'll be here. Okay.
Should be good now.
Did you do it?
I know you fucking did. We
okay.
know know when you're following and we know when you're awake.
Like we said, we know, we see you when you're sleeping and we know when you're awake. So at BCG Podcast is the Twitter. We tweet cool stuff. I'd like to think I'm funny.
Mostly about your ex-wife.
Mostly about my ex-wife. I just think I love being a wise ass on the internet.
We were
It's so
we were
hilarious.
actually just, before you get into it, we were talking about that before we started recording, where I have my personal Twitter account and then I have the BCG Twitter account, and I'm like getting these notifications where it's like, yeah, my ex-wife, and I'm like, when the fuck did I tweet this? And then I look, it's got 100 likes and it's just Andy. I'm like,
Yeah.
what is going? You're not married.
People are very concerned about me and my relationships. It's
But
fine.
should we?
Thank you guys
Should
for
we
doing that.
announce that we are gonna be starting a hashtag?
I'll start that later.
You know, well, I mean, let's just get out of the way now.
Okay.
You know?
Well, if you guys could tweet hashtag Karen come back.
no, come back, Karen.
Come back, Karen. Sorry.
Come back, Karen.
Maybe she'll see it. You know, hopefully she'll check Twitter one day and you decide that I'm worth it and she can come back, because Karen, I'm sorry. It's all me. You know, I didn't treat you right. I know you're probably at your parents', you're probably with your friends, or probably with Jorge, your tennis instructor. That's fine too. You know, he's a good guy. We had him over for dinner once. You know,
Yeah, he works hard. you
I
know?
thought he was looking at you a little bit too much, but you told
I
me
thought he was just really trying to earn that raise that year.
I mean, he was really critiquing your technique, and he said you really don't lift your arm that well. And I
He
was
said,
like, you know
got a
what?
solid backstroke, and now I know what that
You
means.
are a professional. I will let you do your business. I don't know anything about tennis, so you teach her all you need to teach her. So if you're with him, that's fine. Working on your game, but please come back. I love you, Karen. I miss you. Hashtag come back, Karen. If you guys could just tweet that,
I
maybe
think I
she'll
just
see it.
ruptured a lung.
Maybe she'll see it. Maybe she'll, think about the good times we had.
You know, when I was dropping her off to her tennis instructor.
Yeah, I mean, she goes there a lot, so I mean, she's getting really good at tennis.
That's a wild thing, man. If I was a single dude, I'd probably move out to California and be a tennis instructor.
Hell yeah, dude! You
I'd
gotta.
be like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I can fuck.
There you go. That's all you need.
That's it. They pay me like thousands of dollars for tennis instructors that don't even step foot in Wimbledon.
Yeah, I don't even own a racket. It's great.
Yeah, I just borrowed from the last guy.
Yeah, they bring 2. It just happens. So back to the podcast.
But yeah, hashtag come back, Karen.
Yeah, hashtag come back, Aaron. At BCG Podcast is our Twitter account. Follow that. We also have an Instagram at Board Certified Gaming Podcast. We need to change the name. It's too long, but
You think so?
we're in it now.
BCGP?
Maybe.
Sounds like a wrestling promotion.
Yes, it does.
I like it.
I always like it's just 3 letters or 4 letters and then Oddcast. That's all it is. BCGP Oddcast.
Yeah.
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 So go check those out. We also have a Patreon, patreon.com/BCG Podcast. If you get to the first tier, which is $5, you guys will get an extra episode per month from us.
Word?
So, yeah. So
Wow.
if you guys really like us for some reason and want to listen to more of us
You
per
gotta
month, more than the average person does, contribute on our Patreon. You'll get there. And then you'll hear us. You'll get a special feed and all that other fun stuff. So go check it out. Patreon.com/BCG Podcast. So we're going to get into it. Let's do it. 2016.
Oh.
I was graduating college. Good year. Good year.
I was moving out of my first apartment.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. 'Cause
Big steps for both of us.
that was in 2014. I moved into my first apartment.
Yeah. And it was also pretty decent year for games.
Not bad.
Yeah. But
Not
I mean,
bad. A lot of big name games that
we're
came
going to
out.
go over some news first because there's a couple interesting things that happened
Sure.
over in 2016.
Mhm.
This one's kind of close to our hearts. Jagex was acquired by a Chinese mining company.
Ah,
Yeah. Makers of RuneScape.
yes.
That is the game that Amar and I became friends over all that many years
Back
ago.
in 06. But that was when we did the Decade in Review podcast in 2009.
So they were bought by Shandong Honda. They own Jagex. They own RuneScape.
All right.
Good for them. I mean, I just cherry picked that one just because I thought you'd like it. Microsoft in April announced the discontinuation of the Xbox 360. They would not make any more.
Yeah.
I know.
That was a bummer. I really liked the Xbox
I know, but at a
360.
certain point, nobody's buying them.
But you know what we did have?
What?
We had the Xbox One S
That is true.
and the PS4 Slim
That is true. And it was a big VR year, too.
and PS4 Pro.
Yeah. Because I think PSVR came out, the HTC Vive came out, and the Oculus Rift came out. They were like public released. Like, here you go. Get it.
Yep.
So that's...
But Sony also that year took that leap into HDR and 4K gaming and said, "Here's a PS4 Pro for $400."
which I still didn't get. I should have, because mine's very loud now, and it's a lot of dust
at
and a
this
lot of
point,
miles
though,
on it. But
yeah,
at a
but
certain
this
point, yeah.
I mean, next year is the new consoles.
She's hung on, so I mean, I think she'll hang on a little bit more, and then it's just
I
what.
think Karen
I'll get
actually
to
just
know
got Jorge and Karen got a PS4 Pro.
I mean, he can afford it. He's a tennis instructor, man. I mean, good for them. He's lucky. I want a PS4 Pro. God.
You'll get a PS5, and that's when Karen will come back. Don't you worry.
I hope so. Hashtag come back, Karen.
Hashtag come back, Karen.
I miss you.
He's gonna go off again.
I miss you so much.
Sometimes it burns when I think about how much I miss you.
Here I am just playing tennis by myself, and it's just not as fun without you and Jorge there. You know, it's just
How are you
lonely
playing
by
tennis by yourself against the wall?
Very good.
I'm just running back and forth constantly.
Hit it up in the air.
That's why I'm so skinny. I've got great conditioning.
But this was actually a big announcement in October. Nintendo announced the Switch, which
Oh yeah, that's right. That did come out.
It was announced. It didn't
I
come
always
out.
forget the Switch has been
We'll
out for a
talk
few
about
years
that,
now.
But
Right?
I mean, I remember seeing hey, the new thing, Nintendo Switch, new console, and
Yep.
I took 0 seconds to think about it. I was like, I don't care.
I sat there at first and I was kind of like, "Oh, this is cool. This is interesting."
Yep.
When I was really sold was when they released a commercial of a dude that was playing it. Then he went to the bathroom to take a shit and kept playing it.
Which
At that point, I immediately set aside money and was like,
that is an idea that will probably get a lot of people on board. It's like you can play this while on the toilet,
Project
while on the
X Club,
car,
baby.
while on the plane, while
Yeah.
whatever you're doing. I mean,
"That's why I respect what Google Stadia is trying to do."
Yeah.
You know, I just need a phone.
yeah.
You know, I'll buy one of those weird dongles.
Which I hate how people are shitting on it, but that's for another
Literally.
day.
Like
There you
taking
go.
a shit
Yeah.
and
Pun
they're
not
on it.
intended.
Yeah.
Like Stadia is it's a cool idea. I mean,
I can't wait for that to come up.
that was the Switch's original, idea when they announced it as like, hey, this is mobile, but you can put it in a dock and play it on your TV too.
Yeah.
So
I
that
can't.
was-
We'll obviously talk about that in the
Yep.
next week, but I can't wait for the free version so I can try out Google Stadia and see what that's
Yeah.
like.
So I mean, the Switch was announced, and I gave it no credence whatsoever.
And it was such a short window too. It was like announced in October
Yeah.
of like 2016,
And then it
and
came
then it was
out
like,
the next
hey,
year.
like 4 or 5 months later.
Yeah, which is impressive. So
Yeah.
that was cool. So that's kind of the news. I mean, every single year we do this. Every single year we do this. Every single year that we're talking about
Every single week that we do this every single year.
always has, like this event was held, or, this company doesn't make games anymore, or this person left to go start this company. We think those are important news, but a lot of it wasn't, that important to where we need to mention it. Like people leaving and starting their own companies, or leaving and just working at other companies. Like Nordic rebranded to THQ Nordic in August. Like no one cares.
Or how United Front Games was shut down.
Yeah. Like, I mean,
They developed Sleeping Dogs.
news.
If you're listening, you know how good Sleeping Dogs is.
I mentioned it in my last podcast, I think, or the last episode.
They know how good it is. They know who I'm talking about.
It was okay.
Hashtag.
Isn't that where you're no, that's Watch Dogs. My bad.
Yeah, no. Sleeping Dogs is in Hong Kong. You're an
Isn't that
undercover
just
police
Agent
officer.
Grand Theft Auto?
I mean, it's probably
To
better
be
than Grand Theft
crude.
Auto.
To be crude.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Agent
I would
Grand
say
Theft
it's
Auto.
better than Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, I mean,
I loved Sleeping Dogs.
check it out.
I actually bought Sleeping Dogs.
Yeah.
Again
There you go.
on the Xbox this time.
Yeah.
Can't wait to.
More dogs.
Yep.
Who
Awake dogs.
Who let the sleeping dogs out?
Who? Why do I participate in this with you?
I don't know. I got you.
I need to just stare.
Yes. So we're gonna get into the games that came out because news is always, news is news.
2016 was a very good.
Consoles have been out for a year and a half. There's going to be, Nintendo is always like in the middle of, when Xbox and PlayStation are just like, hey, we came out with a new console. We're having a bunch of games over the next couple of years. Nintendo's always like, well, here's our thing. When all you guys are already playing those two, here's ours, which is going to come next year, I think, 2017. But I mean, some games that were, at this point, in gaming, especially like the farther you get away from a launch, there's always like the lull in the beginning where it's like some cool ones that initially we're gonna like, we know the system's coming, so we're gonna put it out, it's gonna be great. And then there's like a lull where it's like, yeah, we're still working on this, but there's still some cool games that come out. And then in the middle, it's like, here's a bunch of cool shit. And then you get another kind of like, okay, the lull before the next consoles come out. And then you get the console. So it's like a never ending cycle of like, yeah, here's some peaks and valleys of cool games coming out, and then games not being, that great. So, well, I mean, 2016, Persona 5.
What?
Persona 5
In Japan.
in Japan. Well,
2017
then
was when
moved
it came
to
to the
fucking
US.
Japan.
Oh, believe me, I would.
I know, but I'm sure the
Persona
Japanese
5
people were
is
liking
the
it.
best fucking game
Which
in the history of games.
we'll get to that when that comes out in the US, I guess. So never mind Persona 5. Unless you're in Japan, then celebrate. That's great.
Konnichiwa.
There
Persona
you go.
5.
That was
Number-
terrible. I don't know any actual
Wow.
Japanese words.
Clearly.
I just, yeah.
Oh.
Arigato, I know that one.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that redeemed myself.
Way to. Okay, PewDiePie. That happened in 2017, by the way, because I looked that up.
Yeah.
That PewDiePie. Well, I mean, every year there's a PewDiePie incident.
So I talked about this in 2015, but Rocket League came to Xbox One in 2016.
Yeah, because it was originally just
Is an
PS4,
indie game for PS4 and PC, I think.
Yep.
Which
and then it ported over to Xbox One, and then eventually made its way onto. Other
I mentioned
consoles.
how much we love Rocket League in the last episode. I wish you were there for that.
I'm here to confirm that.
We love Rocket League
Adore
still.
it.
It's a great game.
Phenomenal.
And the fact that it came out on Xbox like later is kind of a testament. It's like so many people loved it. It's like, yeah, we want it on Xbox.
And
too.
now it's on the Game Pass, and it's still like one of the top
It's
downloads.
great. And it's a huge esport, which is amazing.
Yeah.
I have not played this. Stardew Valley?
Yeah, Stardew Valley.
Is that good?
I haven't played it either. It's to me, it looked like a
Is it? It's
like a more indie Harvest Moon kind of game.
Which I haven't played either. It just felt to me like it was a farming simulator.
Kind of.
Like, I mean, basically it's Farmville, but
no,
which is probably an insult.
So there's like there's like an actual like deep story to it, and there's a whole like role playing element. Okay. A lot of it just centers around the fact that you own a piece of farmland and like it's your job to kind of build it back up.
Which I don't want to do that.
I've been interested in the game. I just never took the time to
have a farm.
It's not for everybody.
Tom Clancy's The Division.
Yep, the first Division.
The first Division, which
I got a coworker that talks about it a lot.
When it came out, Tom Clancy games have always been fun.
Yes,
I mean,
especially Splinter Cell.
Splinter Cells have been great. Rainbow Six have been great.
Phenomenal.
But when they came out with The Division, I was like, they are doing an MMO.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, that's interesting.
Now that's on Game Pass too.
The first one is.
But
the second one is out.
Correct.
I don't know if I want to play the first one.
I would, just because I played a little bit of the second one. The first one I would, just for like the different setting and just to kind of see how it is.
I guess.
People are still playing Destiny 1. People are still playing like the OG EverQuest that came out like,
I guess,
2000.
Well, there's always going to be those people,
earlier.
But I mean,
right.
I personally am not one of those that's like, ooh, the second one's out, let me play the first one. Unless it's like, I want to play this because I missed out on the first one, that I want to get the story or want to play it. Like Gears 4, I played Gears 4 just so I could play.
But now
Gears
it's on
5.
Game Pass, so it's like that can be your excuses.
Yeah.
All right, you and I will
play
download it and just check it out.
Yeah.
What's the worst that happens? We don't like it.
Yeah, there's always a second one that's like, well, maybe the second one was.
Which I did really like the second one a lot. So if you're interested, I would be down to download the first one.
That's
take a crack at it.
The one thing I don't like is when it's a giant game that's multiplayer. You can do all this stuff with your friends, and I'm like, I don't have any on right now that have this game. So what can you do by yourself? Oh, not a whole lot. That's why Destiny 2 lost its luster, because I was like, I can't do any of this.
I can't speak for the Division 1, but I know the Division 2, like you could pretty much play that entire thing solo.
Okay. Which
I would assume
maybe appeals to me because I have no friends.
I'm not going to back that claim up. You don't.
Which, I mean, yeah.
Overwatch also came out in 2016.
I was going to mention that. That's
big game.
Huge game.
Uncharted 4.
Yeah.
Also came out.
Doom
did come out. Huh?
Doom was, okay. So I remember
it's really been almost 4 years since a Doom game.
I remember watching, and I'm going to vent a little bit about Doom. I remember watching the Bethesda, like that was the first year Bethesda got a showcase at E3. Like got their whole entire like presentation.
Yeah.
And they were like, we're going to mention Doom. And at first I was like, Bethesda makes Doom? But
they acquired it like bought the rights back,
which I had no idea. I didn't pay attention enough to know that. And then when I found out that they made Doom, I'm like, holy crap, that looked. And then they showed the trailer. And I was like, this looks metal as hell. And I played the entire game. It is. It's as metal as you can imagine. You are on Mars destroying demons from hell with a chainsaw and a shotgun and just like beating them with your bare fists. It's great. But Doom was bugged for me.
Oh yeah,
one of the collectibles achievements or the platinum, and I kept trying to do it, kept trying to figure it out, and then I had to undownload the game and re-download the game, and then eventually I was like, you know what? I'm just going to restart this whole thing and go as fast as possible and collect all of these. And I did it, and it didn't work. So naturally I was pissed. So I was like, fuck Doom. I hate Doom so much. So then I was like, you know what? I'm going to suck it up and try it again. I really don't. It gets to the point where I don't want to have to play this game anymore. So I'm going to play it.
Did you eventually get the platinum?
I eventually got it, but it was the most annoying thing in the world. And it was like, I needed one thing and then I got it. And it was like, yep, you're done. I'm like, great, cool. It's just super annoying. But Doom is fun. Go check it out. Uncharted 4, I'm still making my way. I think I'm on 3. But I got the collection, which is 1, 2, and 3. I'm making my way through 3, and all I've heard is that it's good.
I also have the collection too that I need to.
They're all good. They're all fun.
I paid
games.
like $10 for it because my uncle, I bought him a PS4 that came bundled with Uncharted 4. Yeah. So that's where he started. He said he loved the game. So one time, you're selling it for like $10 or $12 on the PlayStation Store. So I picked up that first 3.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I mean, I'm not. What were we talking about?
It's male Tomb Raider.
Uncharted. I still haven't played the 4th one. but I got lost for a second there. They're all the same kind of game, which
Action adventure.
if it ain't broke,
don't fix it.
I just think that personally, it's overrated a little bit. Like it's fun, but at a certain point, I'm like, okay, I get it. And it's just like, all right, I kind of know what's going to happen. It's predictable, but I haven't tried 4. I'm willing to try 4. It's going to be, which by the time I try 4, 5 is going to be out and there's going to be a movie. So I better, I better get going. This is a big one that came out that people loved, which I still don't get. Dark Souls 3.
Yeah, Dark Souls.
I don't get the entire Dark Souls franchise.
People just love being frustrated.
They love things that are difficult and reward perseverance, I guess, or they reward you looking up how to do it and then you do it. Because that's every experience I've had with people that play Dark Souls. They're like, yeah, I usually just look up what this guy does, and then somebody else did it, and then I just do that, and then I beat it, and I'm like,
and I'm done.
What is the point? I get that it's like masochism a little bit, like you just want to punish yourself, but come on,
really into it.
I mean, maybe I haven't given it enough of a shot, but just the Souls that kind of game genre, I'm not into. I guess I'm either not that good or I like less of a challenge than other people. I
like simplicity. I just like the story. I want to get through it and be done.
But I don't know. Maybe I should give it another shot because why else would everybody else like it if it was terrible?
You know what everybody liked that came out in 2016?
What?
Gears 4.
Gears 4. Good, very good game. I thought
a lot of people didn't like the reboot, but it's okay to have an incorrect opinion.
They don't like a lot of things. Ooh. You know what came out for PS4 in August? No Man's Sky.
Oh.
I know. Which
fuck that.
Which
game.
I will give them all the credit in the world. The hype that they had, I don't think was their doing.
Yes, it was.
Some of it was.
Not all of it was.
But we
No.
Okay.
You're not going to back them up on this.
I am a little bit. Because all hype, none of it is just, it's 100% you.
Dog.
We also have the expectations of we want this to be this.
No, these dudes.
I will die on that hill. They did hype it to oblivion.
They
say it had so much cool shit
out of it.
But yeah,
the big thing was you're going to be able to see all these other people and quintillion planets. You saw nobody.
We also should have seen that coming. Like you can't promise me the world and then just
I fell victim, and I will forever be pissed at that game and the developers. Because I drove to middle of nowhere, Wisconsin, looking for the only copy just to play it for like 20 hours over a weekend and go, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I mean, that's always everybody's go-to.
I was so mad.
In terms of not living up to the hype, where it was unbelievably hyped and then nobody
it used to be what they were Duke Nukem Forever.
True.
Because that game took
there are
almost
always
20 years.
Insert game that was overhyped here. There's
but Duke Nukem Forever was, hey, we're making the game and it just happened to suck. No Man's Sky was, hey, here's all this cool stuff that you can do. Game is out. Sorry, you can't do any of that cool stuff. Yeah. Here's a spaceship.
You can run around for a little bit and you can gather rocks and stuff.
At the time, I was working at the Pizza Hut down in Racine, Wisconsin. And one of my cooks, his brother, worked at a GameStop there. Mm-hmm. And he was told that he had to try to push like pre-orders for No Man's Sky. And a bunch of people.
Wow.
Well, yeah, because that was like the big game coming out. So, they want to get sales and try to push up the rewards, all that, blah, blah, blah. He was getting a bunch of people that would come in after the release, knowing how horrible. I mean, the game is great now.
It was really
it's a phenomenal game now.
It's a rebound story.
Correct. It's similar to like what happened with Final Fantasy 14 in a sense,
which I mentioned in the last podcast,
right? Where it was,
it sucked. Everybody hated
horrible,
it.
and they had to take a back seat. Yeah, because Realm Reborn was 2014. But he would have people coming in being like, "Oh, I want to check out No Man's Sky. It looks cool." He would literally tell people, "Do not buy this game." The reason being is because at that time, their model was if you sold a game and then they returned it, that went against you. So he was like,
Oh yeah.
I know this
He knew
is
it
a
was gonna
bad game,
happen,
right?
Yeah.
But then he got yelled at for it. They were like, you need to push this product. And he's like, but it sucks.
Yeah.
Like, you want me to push this product.
This infectious disease.
Right. Like you want me to push this product that we all know sucks and we all know they're going to be back in like 3-4 days.
Yeah.
And then you're going to talk to me about why I'm getting so many returns.
I mean,
dude, he had to sit in the
really
room with like HR for like weeks because he was furious. He was like, I don't understand why I'm getting in trouble for something I was explicitly told to do, even though I was trying to avoid this because the game sucks.
I mean, that's a terrible position to be put in. And it's not like, I'm just glad they didn't give up, because there have been so many games that it's like, oh, you hate it? Okay.
Done. Right.
We're going to move on. We're going to make the next game.
All credit to them. Yeah. But
yeah,
if you're going to release a game, and you're going to tell people that there's going to be fucking things in that game.
Yeah,
make sure those things are in that game.
That's why, I mean, they're not going to do this, but you undersell and overperform. That's what you do. You say, okay, this is a good game. Here's what is in there. And then it's like, hey, by the way, we have all this other stuff that we didn't mention, and it's going to be great. And then everybody, because it's always the giant hyped games like Watch Dogs, No Man's Sky, Fallout 76, Fallout 4 even, nobody likes as much as the hype was given to it. Nobody's going to think it's the game that you made it out to be.
All right.
So just undersell, overperform. Because the games that are like some of the best games ever were like, yeah, here's a game. Give us, what your thoughts are about it. We think it's great. We hope you do too. Done. And then everybody's like, oh my God, this is actually really fun. Let me tell everyone about it. And everybody hears how great it is and everybody plays it. Like it's not that hard. That's why I don't give them all of the blame, because we are part of it.
I will give them all the fucking blame.
I know you will.
Maybe drive out to middle of nowhere, Wisconsin.
I know, which is not their fault, I guess. It kind of is.
It's totally their fault.
It kind of is, I guess. So you owe him some time back. No man,
dare you?
No Man's Sky. World of Warcraft Legion,
Yeah.
which I feel so old because I feel like that came out last year. Like that they were just going so fast that it felt like it came out last year. But I mean, World of Warcraft moves at a mile a minute. So Mafia 3.
Have you played that yet?
Did you play Mafia 2?
I think I only played the first Mafia game.
I played Mafia 2. Loved it. It's great. You're like an Italian in the Mafia.
Yeah.
I still have not
touched 3.
I still haven't opened it.
How many years ago did you get this for Christmas? 2016?
Like 3, like when it came out. Yeah.
Wow.
So I still haven't opened it. If anybody wants my unopened copy of Mafia 3, I can get $1 for it from Amazon if I trade it
with the packaging too.
With the pack, because they don't have an option to say, is it still in the packaging?
I suppose, yeah, you would probably have to sell that on eBay for a certain price.
Yeah, which I'm just gonna keep it.
Just hang on to it for like 30, 40 years.
Yeah, it's like an unopened copy of Mafia 3. If it has like a renaissance or a coming back that everybody thinks it's like one of the best games ever, I'm gonna be like, here's an unopened copy.
Because there's a ton of games now that are from like years ago.
You can spend $40 on an opened copy of Mario Kart 64.
It's like $50-$60 for like an unopened copy of like a wrestling game. Like,
I know, it's crazy. Pilot Wings even goes for like $20. Pilot Wings sucks. It's a terrible game. Sorry if you made Pilot Wings. So there's a lot of VR games that came out because like we said, the Oculus came out, the HTC Vive came out, the PlayStation VR came out. And if you want to listen to us talk about VR, we have an episode about it. Go listen to it.
We don't know what we're talking about though, so don't.
We don't actually. We haven't even heard of VR. Battlefield 1. Yeah. I'm mixed about Battlefield 1. So it's interesting to see
that was the one where it was like World War One.
World War One. It's interesting to see the back and forth between Call of Duty and Battlefield over the years.
And I think this was when Battlefield decided. Was it after 4 or was it like when 1 came out that they're like, we're not releasing a new Battlefield every year?
It was 4 and then it was 1 and then it was 5.
But at what point did they stop doing that yearly cycle?
Hardline, probably.
Was it after Hardline? Because I remember
Hardline was trash. So they were like, we're going to take some extra time with this one, I think.
I remember
that's how it makes sense.
Battlefield used to like release games every single year.
They used to keep up with Call of Duty, but then they were like, yeah, this tanked. So we might have to go back to the drawing board a little bit, which I think I maybe botched the order because I think it was Hardline in there somewhere. So I am not completely sure.
So Hardline came out in so Battlefield 4 was 2013.
13. Hardline was the next year.
Hardline was 2015.
Ah.
So they were on a 2-year cycle.
2 years. Which makes sense. It's a bigger game.
I thought they were on a yearly cycle. So yeah, they were on a 2-year cycle.
Which makes sense. Well, no, they're not if this came out in 2016. This might be the one that they
Battlefield 3 was 2011. Battlefield 4 was 2013. Maybe I was mistaken. I thought they were on a yearly cycle.
Which, if this one came out, might have came out a little too early.
I might be thinking about something else then, because I remember there was somebody that maybe it's Assassin's Creed, because that used to be yearly installments too, and then now
they've made like 20 of those. I have no idea.
Yeah, I can't.
I stopped playing after 2. I played 3 like for.
This is gonna bug me until I figure it out. But keep going
while
I
talk
research
about Battlefield. So Battlefield 1, I'm torn about because, like I was saying, it's interesting to see the back and forth between Call of Duty, because Battlefield 4 and Call of Duty were like, all right, we're both doing the same kind of thing, realistic, modern combat. And then I think Call of Duty went backwards. This is when maybe close to whenever World War II came out. That was 2018, I think. But whenever Call of Duty World War II came out, they were like, okay, well, then we need to go back to World War II. Or 2017, I think, was World War II. Let me check. Call of Duty World War II is 2017. So 2016, they went to Battlefield 1. So this is actually where, because Battlefield kind of got the jump on Call of Duty. Because then, okay, wow, I'm an idiot. 2016 was, I think, Infinite Warfare.
Yeah, because that was when COD Remastered came out.
Yeah, which, I'm going to get to in a couple minutes. But it's interesting to see the play between Call of Duty and Battlefield, because Battlefield has always been kind of like the ugly stepson compared to Call of Duty. It's like, yeah, we do kind of the same thing, just a little bit different, but we're not going to have the same kind of numbers.
It's the same comparison that I make with FIFA and Pro Evolution Soccer.
Yeah, kind
one is arcadey, one is realistic. Battlefield has always been more realistic.
Yeah.
Call of Duty has always been very arcadey.
Yeah, arcadey.
Nobody 360 no scopes. Nobody.
Yeah.
If you 360 no scope in the real world and you actually killed the target you were intending to kill, you should be the leader of the entire universe.
No, you'd be kicked out of the army, because it's like, I don't care. Like, this guy killed him in like 2 seconds. You took 18 tries to do it.
Well, I mean, you would
also,
hope they
why
do
are
it
you
in
a
one try.
sniper right next to this guy?
Right.
Don't get it.
Why are you running sniper?
Yeah.
We're saboteur, Jim. Saboteur.
Like, it's actually interesting to see Battlefield make the move that Call of Duty should have made before they did. Because Battlefield was like, all right, we're on Battlefield 4. Hardline was the interesting little, like, hey, we're cops and robbers, or whatever the hell that was. And then they're like, you know what? Let's go back. Because we were making Battlefield games back in, World War II times.
Yeah.
Let's go back to World War I, which nobody has done. And then or some other people have done, but not recently. And then Call of Duty was like, here's Infinite Warfare.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, God. Like, they actually won that year. Battlefield 1 is way better than Infinite Warfare, I think.
Yeah, but that's why they bundled COD 4 Remastered.
But
like,
that's the shitty thing. So
you had to pay $80
Infinity
to get that.
Ward, I hate you and Activision for doing this. I had to buy Infinite Warfare, and I have to install it or delete the installation every single time I put it in order to play Call of Duty 4.
And it wasn't until
Remastered.
like months after that they were finally like,
here's
hey,
the regular one. Yeah. Which it's an ultimate dick move.
For still half the price.
Everybody saw through it. Every single person saw right through it and is like, you are literally including these two together.
So people will buy.
So people have to inflate your numbers.
Yep.
Because literally half of the people are buying that game just for COD 4 Remastered.
Yeah, we gave them $160.
And we did. Like, it's
$80 each.
It's my God. Like, and you had to buy the deluxe edition. Like, it's just give me the game. I would
like,
pay,
why can't I just
can
pay
I just pay
$60?
the $15 to get the extra game that you're charging me for?
Like, why couldn't I just pay $60 and then you include this?
So
I remember the one time we tried to play the Infinite Warfare online and we were like,
hated it. It was garbage. So that's, if you liked Infinite Warfare,
Please stop listening.
Don't listen to our podcast.
Go get help.
It's terrible. It was garbage. But this was kind of like, all right, Battlefield went to World War One. Interesting. Our game stunk. Their game did okay. I don't know the actual numbers, but I think they did pretty well for Battlefield 1. So it's just interesting to see them kind of like, okay, Battlefield got the jump on us, which usually Call of Duty is like, here's what Battlefield's going to do next year, which is kind of why Battlefield now went back to World War II. Do you notice that? So Battlefield 5 is World War II.
Which I still kind of want to try that one
It
out.
looks fun.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, they're like, okay.
Is that included now with EA Access? Because
maybe
as Game Pass Ultimate, you get like a free month of it.
But they're
like $5 anyways.
Call of Duty went back to World War II and then back to modern, obviously. But Battlefield is like, all right, we're going to go back to World War II now because you guys did that.
Right.
So, but it's interesting.
I mean, it was about time, though. I kind of did miss the World War II setting.
It's just interesting to see Battlefield get the jump on Call of Duty, which is what I meant in that entire like 10-minute rant. Titanfall 2 came out. I talked about Titanfall in the last one that came out with the consoles. So everybody that got the Xbox One, it was like Titanfall came out shortly after.
That was an Xbox One exclusive,
yes,
right?
Yes, it was. And everybody like loved it. It didn't have a campaign. It was completely multiplayer with mechs and wall running and all this other cool shit. It kind of did what the new Black Ops did, but I think a little bit better. So Black Ops 4 was like only multiplayer and you can like jump on walls and all this other garbage. But Titanfall, I think, refined it. It was like, this is fun. This is cool. This is interesting. And there were bots in multiplayer as well. So that was fun.
Like I haven't played Titanfall. I do have 2 because of the PlayStation Plus like free games.
Yeah.
But like I've always Respawn Entertainment, like
They're
especially with Apex Legends, their shooting is always really fun.
There is.
Like they make shooting feel good in those kinds of games.
Titanfall was kind of like a precursor. It's like we can handle shooters. And then once Apex Legends came out, it's no surprise that it's, you know, really
I want to give
Respawn
Apex another fair shake because
Me
that
too.
was another game that like I can't get into Battle Royale, but I can at least appreciate not having to build shit. That's why I can't get into Fortnite.
Yep.
And everybody tells me like, okay, if PUBG is too slow, but Fortnite's too buildy, Apex is perfect for you. To which I'm like, okay, but then like you have to play like a 3-on-3, like there's no solo.
I'll play with you. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, I want to give it a fair shake because I hear a lot of good things about Apex.
And it makes sense why it's doing so well because Respawn kind of nailed it with Titanfall. And then they just took whatever successful thing they had from Titanfall, they just took out the mechs. And then they're like, here's Apex. It's the same kind of shooting mechanics, same kind of like movement.
Speaking of Apex, they're creeping up on 1 year since release.
I know.
Because that came out this year.
Which we will talk about in the next episode.
We're still in 2016. We might not get to it.
Yeah, we'll get there. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, Modern Warfare Remastered. Very mad at that. So I just saw that again and I'm triggered. Dishonored 2. So Dishonored 1 was dope. It's like stealthy, weird, like steampunk kind of shit. And Dishonored 2 just improved on that and made it even better. And I was like, holy crap, this is cool. But my tolerance for stealth games kind of wears thin after a while. After a while, I'm like, I just want to go in and shoot everybody. And that's not the point of the game. It's like, no, you're supposed to be like,
it's like you gotta be quiet.
slow.
Like, but I have a grenade launcher.
Yeah, I have a gun and there's 2 guys in front of me. Can I just shoot them,
please? Just let me fuck shit up.
It's a really fun game. Go try it. Dishonored. I think it's on Game Pass.
2 is
maybe. Watch Dogs 2, which I still have not tried a single.
Have you played
Watch Dogs?
I was going to ask. You haven't played any of them.
It's just like Grand Theft Auto, but you hack stuff.
Something like that.
Something like that.
They always sell those games for like very cheap, and I just never pick them up.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's going to be another instance of Sleeping Dogs where I've heard of the game before and I've always wanted to play it, but I never took the time. And then when I buy it when it's on sale, I sit here and tell everybody about how phenomenal it is.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this, Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition is currently $4.49.
He's very adamant about this.
I will buy it for you. Send me your Cash App.
He will not.
Or your Venmo. I absolutely will. First person or DM me.
Yeah. So there were actually, and this is kind of cool, some video game movies that year. Warcraft came out that year.
That was a good
The
one.
Ratchet and Clank movie came out.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that.
That came out, I want to say, they tried to release it like the same time as the Ratchet and Clank game that was a reboot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember that.
I don't remember the movie.
Yeah. That was a thing.
Angry Birds movie.
I unfortunately remember that, and I drink
Yes.
to forget.
Yeah. And then Assassin's Creed, which makes sense why
they
it is.
did make that.
Makes sense why it is a movie, but I never thought it was going to become a movie.
I forgot they made it. Didn't it suck ass?
I heard it wasn't great, but
Hold on a
it was
second
Michael
here.
Fassbender who plays Miles,
Hold on.
which I forgot his last.
Video game based.
Like, I didn't care about Assassin's Creed for the last like 7 years. So then they're like, here's a movie about it. I'm like, okay, neat. I don't care. Like,
Reception on Rotten Tomatoes. Assassin's Creed has an approval rating of 18%.
there you go.
Based on 216
Atta
reviews.
boy. Look up Warcraft real quick.
Warcraft?
Yeah. Pretty sure it didn't get great reviews either, but I thought it was. I thought it was nice.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
I thought it was cool.
Can I type?
Yeah, so that was 2016. I mean, you can kind of get the theme where it's like some cool games like Overwatch and Doom, Dark Souls 3, Uncharted 4, Battlefield 1, Titanfall 2, Dishonored 2, Call of Duty sucked. But like
On Rotten Tomatoes, Warcraft has an approval rating of 28%.
it beat Assassin's Creed though.
It did. It wasn't
Hell
as
yeah.
shitty.
Hell yeah. 22%.
Yeah.
Bad.
Typically, though, video game movies don't really
They're always
do
bad.
that hot.
They're all bad.
The only video game movies that do decent are typically like fully anime or CGI movies.
Yeah. Probably.
And those are more for fan service than anything.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think there's ever going to be like an Oscar nominated video game movie.
Apparently, The Witcher is on Netflix now that a lot of people are saying is good.
They're saying it's good, but it's not perfect. We'll see.
Yeah.
Witcher 3 Blood and Wine DLC came out in 2016.
Yeah.
Just
When did Witcher
FYI.
3 come out? 2015?
Yeah. In the last episode. So yeah. But 2017 is now, which is the year of the Switch.
Yes.
Which the
March 3rd, 2017.
Yes. The Switch came out.
I hear the click in my head right now, and I'm sure you guys do too.
Which, I mean, that was cool. You know, the Xbox One X, can't forget that.
Yep, the Xbox One X, the
it was-
Super Nintendo Classic.
It was the year of the Switch, so we were.
Did you talk about the regular Nintendo Classic?
No, the SNES Classic,
The NES Classic?
whatever it was. Yeah,
Yeah, this year, 2017, the SNES Classic came out.
that's true. Yeah, the emulate. That was the first trend of the emulators. That's like, here's this little console you had.
That wasn't the first.
Wasn't the
I mean, it was
first,
the
but
first, like,
it's
there was the first one by, like,
mass-produced.
yeah.
You know, here's the.
I mean,
thing
you can still
that's-
go to 7 Mile Fair and get that bootleg N64 controller that's going to have 700 different copies of Super Mario World.
Very true.
And that's it.
I mean, I personally don't get the emulator trend. I get it from nostalgia's point.
It's like vinyl records.
Yeah, but it's like, are they going to do this every like 10 years? Like, here's another one that comes out. Here's a Dreamcast.
Well, that was the last one that
Sega
Nintendo
Genesis.
did.
Yeah.
That was the last one Nintendo did.
But are they
'cause-
going to get an N64 emulator? Like an N64 Classic or
I mean, I'd
something
buy
like that.
it.
Like they had
It's next up.
the PlayStation Classic stunk.
Yeah, you can buy it now for like
10
$40.
probably.
Yeah.
Like it was bad. And so it's like either that's dead or they're just going to keep doing it. Like
When did the NES Classic come out?
that was 2016, right?
Was it?
Where is it? You can tell we did so much preparation.
NES Classic Edition was
Yeah.
2016, November 2016.
Yeah.
So then it was a year later that the
The
SNES Classic came
Yeah.
out. So 2018 would have been for the N64, but I think the reason why they kind of halted on that was because the Switch then, once they introduced that Switch Online membership,
Yeah, then they're like, we don't need to. You
We're
don't need
just
to
putting
actually
them all,
buy this
yeah.
console. You can just have it on your Switch, which
So
we want
maybe
anyway.
2020 might have the N64 emulators.
Which I'm waiting. I just want to play all the
Banjo-Kazooie.
James Bond.
GoldenEye.
Hell yeah, dude.
Ooh,
Or
that's
Pokemon
gonna be,
Stadium. Or
that'll be
something
an
like
interesting
that.
licensing
Hell yeah,
thing that
dude.
they got to figure out for GoldenEye.
Yes, they'll figure it out.
They'll have to.
Licensing is tough, but they'll figure it out.
They'll figure it out.
Somebody owns it, so they can pay them. That's all I got to do is find who owns it, so they can pay them.
Man, can you imagine the multiplayer lobbies, especially
That
because it'll
would
be
be
like
awesome.
it won't be like local connection. It'll be worldwide.
Hell yeah, I would be down with that, dude. Online multiplayer,
GoldenEye.
GoldenEye 007. Hell yes, I would be
Just
so
shredding.
down, so down. So news, there's not a whole lot. I mean,
I mean, there's a lot, but just not a lot that we prepared.
not a lot of cool stuff. I mean, Like not a lot. It's a lot of people leaving. Like I said before, it's a lot of people leaving. It's a lot of, hey, this
Peter Moore left EA Sports to go manage fucking Liverpool.
which is insane that
He's
happened.
the CEO of Liverpool.
I love that happened. It's just interesting. I mean, it's a lot
I wish
of,
he grew up as a fan of literally any other club.
Yeah, like the Naughty Dog president stepped down. The Telltale Games CEO stepped down. Like a lot of people just left. So news is news.
Was that also when they announced like the name of the Xbox One X, like from Project Scorpio?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Because the Xbox One X came out in 2017.
November in 2017, so probably. But no one cares about the Xbox One X. There's so many different kinds of Xboxes. I don't care.
Now it's just Xbox.
Now it's just Xbox, but oh yeah, just kidding. So no, it's just Xbox, not Xbox Series X. That's a whole different Xbox.
Just
that's
shut
the
up
first,
and take my money.
The first one we showed you, that's not the one that's coming out. That's a new one. We're gonna give you an Xbox.
I've had every Xbox since the first Xbox, and I will
bonkers.
continue to have every Xbox until the day that I stop dying.
It's just bonkers. All right, so let's get into games because we're already at 45 minutes.
Oh boy,
Yes,
yeah,
we need to.
Got to wrap this up.
Yes, we do. Well,
Speed round.
Resident Evil 7 Biohazard
Uh-huh.
was too scary for me. I don't want to play it. I've heard it's nothing but good, but I don't want to play it. And I absolutely don't want to play it in VR.
I heard that you
Absolutely
have to play.
not.
You should, if you want the full experience, play it in VR first.
I don't.
But
I really don't. Like I do. Like I've heard it's great and want to experience a great game, but I absolutely will not.
There's two
play it.
places I enjoy my piss: in my bladder and in my toilet.
Yeah.
On my floor is not one.
Yeah. I do not want to shit my pants while not knowing what's in the room. I don't want to do that. It's just terrifying. And
that one was more also kind of.
if people like that game, go ahead. I'm sure it's great.
I'm gonna buy it one of these days because Michelle is really into that.
I'm gonna buy it, but turn the lights on. It's gonna be
daytime,
the middle of the day.
Hopefully there will be like some snow on the ground just so it's that much brighter.
I will have a couple people next to me.
I might have kids around.
I'm gonna have a gun. Kidding. I'm not gonna have a gun.
I'm gonna have a gun to do what? Shoot your TV?
Okay, something.
Oh God!
Be prepared.
I'll have my cats with me.
Have you heard For Honor?
Yes.
It looked fun.
That's
dead.
Still around?
I think it's still around, but
thing?
I didn't think it was gonna last. Like it's just a sword fighting online multiplayer fighting game. Which the concept, a lot of these games concepts sound cool, but they're just not built to last.
It was like poor execution. Yeah,
they're just not built to last.
When did Striking Vipers come out?
Which Striking Vipers?
You want to play Striking Vipers?
It's Striking Vipers X.
Do you want to play?
Sure. Let's do it.
Let's do it, bro. All right.
Halo Wars 2. Who asked for another Halo Wars?
The people that really like the first
Is Halo Wars that good? I thought that was the RTS Halo,
it's
right?
a blast. I have a good time.
I didn't want to.
Well, because you don't like RTS.
I don't like RTS, and
right.
I guess
don't say you don't like Halo.
Here you go. It's not that I don't like Halo. As I was a late Halo adopter.
Because like Halo 3 is when you started.
That was the first Halo I've ever played.
Oh damn! Really?
Yeah.
First one I played was Combat Evolved.
Well, yeah, the first one.
Well, because I had the original Xbox.
Yeah. Oh, the first Halo I played was the first Halo. Like, yeah, a lot of people did. My first one was 3, and even then, I still wasn't really in it. I just played it because you guys played it,
right?
And then I was
that was a cool thing to do.
This is
you didn't want to be a loser.
I still am.
Somehow I was going to say you grew up anyways.
Somehow that didn't work. So this is obviously the Switch came out in March. So early on in 2017, there's a lot of cool ass games for the Switch. Which
not a lot, but they were spreading out some decent ones in 2017.
Breath of the Wild, which everybody thinks is one of the best Zelda games.
Yeah, that was a phenomenal game.
I still have only put in like a few hours into it, which because it's a lot. And it's like I don't want to have to just run everywhere.
Here's my unpopular opinion.
I'm lazy.
Here's my unpopular opinion. I like the Zelda franchise. I don't love it.
Yeah.
So it's like when everyone's like,
oh my
every
God,
time the new Zelda game. Yeah, the most recent one that came out, the
Link's Awakening.
Yeah, everybody was super stoked, and I was like, I'll borrow that.
Yeah.
You know, so I'll maybe borrow it from a coworker or something. But Breath of the Wild was one where I was like, well, I got to play this. This looks like it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And that one really, like the last time that I played a Zelda game where I like really, really enjoyed it was Wind Waker. I loved Wind Waker. You know, I liked Twilight Princess. I liked Skyward Sword. Those were a lot of fun.
I didn't mention that. I forgot when Skyward Sword came out. I didn't mention that.
There have been came out for the Wii U,
which I didn't have, so no shit, I wasn't gonna play.
But yeah, I mean, so and like I said, those were all great games. But just I don't know, me personally, I never got like super into Zelda. But you sit me down with Wind Waker or Ocarina of Time or now Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it makes sense.
Just leave the AC on. I'm okay.
But at this point, these are the only games available for the Nintendo Switch. That was probably the biggest one because Mario Kart hadn't come out yet. And there hadn't been, obviously Smash was years away. But that early on release, Breath of the Wild was coming to Switch. And everybody thought it was like, oh my God, this is so good. And it was. So that's, if the Switch, if that didn't come out on the Switch and it came out like a year later, do you think it would be as popular of a device?
Repeat that question again, because I was trying to actually scroll through for a definitive list of Switch games for 2017.
If because Breath of the Wild was a launch game,
correct,
on the March 3rd with the Switch,
they had an attach rate of 1-to-1. Every time they sold a Switch, they sold Breath of the Wild.
If they didn't have that, if they released it like later that year or the next year and just relied on like Mario Kart's coming, even like it's the last Mario Kart.
Right.
Mario Kart 8 had been out already. Do you think they sell as many?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Have you ever spoken to anybody that is a diehard Nintendo fanatic?
No. Am I speaking to one?
No.
Okay.
I love Nintendo. I really do.
Yeah.
But people that are like
I guess
all in on Nintendo are the most loyal people
I guess
to
it's
Nintendo.
Just, the Switch seemed like not a Hail Mary, but it seemed like it was, here's the Wii U, here's the 3DS, here's kind of a mix between the two.
Right.
And I was like,
the Wii U fucking
okay.
failed.
Yeah. Well, I was wondering who
there was
it
a
was
report,
for.
I think, that the CEO like took a pay cut.
Yeah.
Because they didn't sell as many Wii U's.
Which
Whether that's true or not.
They
I don't know.
obviously made the right choice. The Switch has sold
correct. But
very
no,
well.
the Wii U did not sell very well, but it still sold. Again, the Nintendo like
it's also worldwide too.
Yeah, the Nintendo, I hate saying this word, but fanboys and fangirls,
fan people,
they're very loyal to that brand. It's
Which
the same.
makes
It's the same with Sony and Microsoft too. I mean, the
True.
PS3, the 360.
People bought PSPs.
Yeah, a lot of people bought
PS
PSPs
Vitas,
and
yeah.
PS Vitas. You know, they're very brand loyalty is a huge thing.
Yeah.
Now they probably wouldn't have pushed out as many.
That's
units,
what I'm saying. Would that time period being, hey, you get,
but no, people still would have bought
Super
this.
Bomberman R, Little Inferno, Just Dance 2017,
People still-
1-2 Switch. Those are the launch games.
People
Here you
still
go.
would have purchased this in anticipation for Breath of the Wild.
I guess, yeah, if they knew it was coming out.
I
That
mean,
makes
we're all
sense.
still waiting for Metroid Prime 4.
True.
For crying out loud.
I think it would have had an impact on the numbers a little bit, but
It
those
would have-
numbers would have caught up later.
Yeah, it would have had an impact.
Like, I'm going to wait till
initially.
Breath of the Wild comes out, then I'm going to get the Switch.
Yeah, it would have had an impact initially, definitely, especially for just like your average consumer.
Yeah.
So, say somebody like, I don't know, our girlfriends that aren't really as big into playing video games, they might not have gone out day one to buy it.
Yeah.
You know, like say if they were like, oh, you know, I want to get this as a gift or whatever. Oh, I know Zelda's a huge franchise.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go buy it. But if you're like, there's not a lot of games out there that are big named, I guess I'll wait. You know.
Yeah.
And Christmas was really like because they launched that in March.
Yeah.
Christmas
so
was
they were going to pick up during the holidays anyway.
Yeah, I mean they already sold out of that console. I mean it took me. I think I got it like 3 weeks after launch.
You had to go to like 3 different.
Dude, it was like
places.
a 6-hour day of just driving around because no place would hold it for me because I didn't pre-order, which is my fault. But
yeah. I mean, I've never pre-ordered a console before.
I will let you know how it goes next year. Yeah, I'm going all in on this new Xbox.
We are happy Switch owners, and Breath of the Wild started all basically. I mean, people love the hell out of that game. We need to hurry up. We're at like 50 something minutes, so we're gonna go kind of quick. But I mean, 2018 has been a little bit down. 2017, we're gonna finish that off. Nier Automata, which apparently is really good.
Yep, that's another one I definitely want to check out too.
Or is that
Dark Souls Remaster?
No, is Nier like Dark Souls?
I don't know. I've never played it.
Okay,
I've
heard it's good.
I want to
but
say
don't
it's
know
like
what
a hack and slash kind of.
Ooh, this one
game.
hurt. Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yeah,
That hurt.
you were a
That
little
hurt.
like.
I
bummed
didn't think it
about
was
that.
as bad as everyone thought because it's still a Mass Effect game, but it
Right.
just absolutely did not do the same thing that the first 3 Mass Effects did, which are some of my favorite games of all time. BioWare remastered the trilogy. I'm telling you right now, you got $60 right in the bank, right here. I'll take it. Persona 5 came out this year. Here you go.
Oh, I wish I had it ready so I could play like one of the songs.
You're not going to.
Phenomenal soundtrack, phenomenal storytelling. The only bad thing about the game in terms of consumer standpoint is it's too long. The only bad thing about it, my personal point, is it's not long enough. because it was a 110-hour game. And
Make it 120 hours.
for somebody like you, if I were to recommend it, sure, I can understand why you'd say, hey,
Yeah.
110 hours is long.
That's a
but
lot.
I was so into that entire story for all 110 hours that like by the end of it, I was pissed. I was like,
Yeah.
where's the next 100 hours? And then I replayed it again.
Yeah.
And then now in March, I get to play it again. I'm so
There
stoked.
you go. Injustice 2, I thought was cool. It's basically Mortal Kombat, but for superheroes, which is one of the cooler DC things because Marvel kicks the shit out of DC all day, every day, 7 days a week.
Twice on Sundays.
And DC made a cool game, Injustice Gods Among Us, and they did Injustice 2, where you can just kick the shit out of people as Superman. It was kind of fun. I enjoyed it. You know, beating the shit out of people is always very fun. Friday the 13th, the game. I remember seeing that as like not a Kickstarter, but like this is coming out. Like, what would you guys think about this kind of game? And then they made it. And I was like, that's kind of cool. Like that kind of game genre. I think there's that like Dead by Daylight, all those other games that are like one guy plays as the evil serial
like
killer and everybody else plays as like high school kids or something
meant
like
to be
that.
like kind of like a group game.
Yeah, and I'm like, I never got the appeal. Then again, I don't have a ton of friends I could play with. But I just never got
it'd be
the
one
appeal.
of those like party games, but then like you'd need all these other TVs because you're playing. You can't
Well,
play
it's
split
an
screen.
online. You have 6 friends that want to all play at the same time, or it's like
Right.
you can play with a couple people. Because who wants to play one of those by themselves, unless you're the evil guy that you don't care about who you're with?
Right.
Because you
unless
also need to
play it.
talk to him. I was like, hey, he's in the corner. Like, go, run away.
Right,
Or
it's the
something
thrill
like that.
of it.
Which I guess I don't like scary games.
Yeah,
I really hate
I
them.
prefer scary
Yeah,
games.
Dead by Daylight came out the same year.
I prefer scary games over scary movies because at least I feel like I have
guess.
control.
Yeah,
You know, because
I
at
get
any
that.
point I can run away.
that's
Or
true.
turn off the
shoot
console.
something. Yeah,
The movie is like,
yeah.
you're dead.
I'm in here. I can't do anything
Yep.
about it. This was cool. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy.
Yeah.
I played the hell out of that.
Yup.
Platinumed all 3.
Yes, you
which
did.
I am very proud of. Very hard to do.
Now you got to get 3,000 gamer score.
I'm not playing it again. Absolutely not. Crash Bandicoot,
I'd play it again. It's a
fucking
fun game.
love, but it's super hard. Like
I would
going
play
back and actually trying to beat the whole thing, I was like, God damn, how did I do this back in the day?
I would play through it again, not to like get all the like
to
achievements or
enjoy it.
trophies, but yeah, just to have fun with it.
Splatoon 2, very fun.
Great game.
I'm
That was
waiting.
like July.
That was July.
Yeah,
We're
that was
waiting
good.
for Splatoon 3. Hopefully that comes out at some
Mm.
point.
Maybe, maybe not.
They have to. Splatoon 2 did so well.
It did, but so did
We will
Splatoon
buy it.
1 for the Wii U.
We will
That might be
absolutely
one of
buy it.
those games that they only release per console.
I guess.
But because like they're not doing anything new with Splatoon 2 anymore. They stopped they did an
Splatfest
extra
isn't anywhere?
they did an extra year of Splatfest, but yeah, the final one was just a few months back. It was earlier this year, so
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? Maybe in the future, in 2020, we'll get a Splatoon 3 and I'll
I
sink
hope
200
so.
hours
That'd
into it.
That'd be absolutely fun. I'd be down with that.
That was
So-
always one of those games where it's like you get frustrated when you don't do well, but you're still just having fun.
Yeah. You don't care. You're having a bunch of ink paint all over the place.
Right.
Destiny 2 came out in September 2017.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It feels like it came out like this year. Just however, like they keep updating it and adding more stuff to
Yeah,
it.
and like all the
Yeah.
expansions.
I talked about Destiny in the previous episode.
Because the first one was 2014
something like that.
or 15.
It was dope, but it wasn't hooking me, especially because you're by yourself. This
Right.
one, I was also the same kind of way because they just like took it and were like, here's more stuff, different kind of story, improved on what we'd improved on. It's still meant to be played with other people. You can still play it by yourself, but it's obviously not less enjoyable, but it's more difficult. It takes away from the experience a little bit. So I like Destiny 2. I'm willing to give it another shot. It's also a gigantic game, so I don't have all the time in the world to download it, but there is a cool thing where one of the superpowers is you get a shield and you can throw it and hit people, and I'm basically Captain America, and I love it. So
You
I
know
will
what
play
was-
it just for that.
Do you know what was another pretty big release in
If you
2017?
say SteamWorld Dig 2, I'm going to hate you.
No, PUBG.
Really? 2017?
December 2017. PUBG
Jesus
released
Christ.
for the Windows, Microsoft Windows.
Oh, that's Windows. So it had been out for a year.
Huh?
Did we miss PUBG?
Yeah, PUBG was 2017. It came out for Windows, and then everywhere else.
It was
later.
only on Windows. It was only on PC first.
Correct.
Oh.
I am trying to
I
figure.
thought that was one of the games that came out on Windows after it was on everything else.
When did
They kind of started the Battle Royale.
Did Fortnite's Battle Royale mode, did that come out 2018?
That was after PUBG, because I remember everybody was like, you just copied PUBG.
So that was 2018.
So PUBG kind of started the whole thing. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, if you don't know what that is. It started kind of the whole Battle Royale genre.
Did you want to do 2018 this episode or save it for next week? Because looking through 2018,
it's big.
Fortnite alone, there's a lot we can discuss.
So here we go. We're going to executive decision mid podcast.
Right.
We're going to save 2018 for next episode because 2019 is going to be pretty quick, especially because we can just rattle through all the stuff that we basically talked about on the podcast already.
Yeah. And then just hopes and dreams for 2020.
Yeah,
it'll mostly just be
like
about 2018.
Okay. So we're going to, if you're listening, waiting for 2018.
Because we have a lot. I know you and I have a lot we can say about Fortnite with how big that was.
We're already at an hour right now. So, I mean, that's fine. We'll save 2018 for the next episode. We're going to finish off because we still have some stuff in 2017 we need to mention. So Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for the Switch, which makes sense.
That was just Mario Kart 8 had already the first like year and a half of the Switch was primarily, hey, here's a bunch of really cool games on the Wii U that nobody got to play.
Yeah.
Like Mario Kart 8, Pokken Tournament, all those. I mean, it was just essentially, hey, sorry, the Wii U wasn't really what you expected.
Here they are again.
But these were still phenomenal games everybody should play.
Cuphead came out.
Cuphead. Yeah, that was another.
Which I remember seeing and thinking, that is really cool.
It's an interesting little cartoony.
Probably one of the best art styles I've seen in a game in a long time. And it's no shock that it won so many awards for like difficult or gameplay and then art style and just visuals, just because it's a very pretty artistic game that's apparently really hard. Like it's very difficult, which is why I don't want to play it.
Hold on a second. No, Fortnite came out September 2017, it says.
Really?
Based on the Wikipedia's, it says it released for Windows, Mac, PlayStation, and Xbox September 2017. I think that December.
You're talking about the Battle Royale mode.
Correct. The Battle Royale
Fortnite
mode
had been out, and then they're like, wow.
I think PUBG had come out earlier. It's just that December 2017 was like, because PUBG was in the early access.
Yeah. Hang on. Let me just check. Because. Okay. No.
I'm looking at it right here. September 26, 2017.
2017 was Battle Royale mode.
Yeah. Because PUBG was in early access.
Yeah, it was shortly. That was technically early access.
So December 2017 was probably the full launch.
Yeah. So Fortnite did come out in 2017. So we have to give our thoughts about Fortnite now.
I feel like we should just save it because that was such a huge game that came out.
All right, we'll save it for the next one. We'll talk about some other games while we're here.
I mean, we can. I know. We can cap it off, but
we're not going to. This one's a little bit scattered, so we'll just finish it off and do the next one.
Because Jesus, man, I'm not a fan of Fortnite, but fuck, was that thing huge.
We're going to spend a couple minutes on Fortnite.
My mother came up to me and said, "Have you heard about this game called Fortnite?" I'm like,
yeah.
Aren't you watching daytime television?
Middle-earth Shadow of War was very fun. Play the first one and the second one.
Coworkers is playing through that.
Super good.
Says he likes it a lot.
It's super good. South Park: The Fractured But Whole.
Yeah. Have to play
very good game. Yeah, you still have to play that. It's very fun. Yeah. I mean, Super Mario Odyssey came out. Which was a big Switch game that everybody 2017, loved.
Wasn't it? Yeah, that was a blast. I love that game.
I still have to play it, but
I can borrow you my copy.
I need to. It's a whole Mario game, and I'm like,
it's not really that long.
Really?
Yeah, you could probably say you could finish in probably a weekend.
Then maybe I'll give it a shot.
Here you go.
Wolfenstein II came out.
That one I have to finish.
Wolfenstein 2 is fantastic if you want to feel like killing some Nazis. It's awesome.
Every day of the week.
Hell yeah. Nazis suck. Speaking of Nazis, Call of Duty World War II. Very fun. I think this was basically Call of Duty's last chance. They made Infinite Warfare.
Last chance for you.
Last chance for me. They made Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. It blew. And they're like, well, we need to come up with something else. Let's go back to World War II. They will hopefully like it.
It was a good story.
It was a good story.
Josh Duhamel.
Yeah, Josh Duhamel.
Duhamel?
It's Duhamel.
There's a fucking, you know what?
There's a U in there, but it's Duhamel.
It's Duhamel.
I know, Duhamel. Duhamel. I get it. But it was fun.
Or what was that? Darman.
Darman.
Yeah.
Call of Duty World War II was fun.
That's a blast.
I enjoyed it. I think they
It's a good time.
earned, not that they earned back some respect, but they earned some points in the right
some brownie
direction.
points.
Not, going
They
the
earned
wrong
some
way.
allied points.
There you go. They didn't go in the wrong direction,
Right.
which they easily could have. They could have made a terrible game,
But they didn't.
but they didn't.
They did that last year.
Yeah, they did the year before.
They're like, all right, guys, let's mulligan.
Star Wars Battlefront 2, which we have mentioned,
Yeah, was
bad at launch,
but good now.
but is like No Man's Sky. They gave it some time. They worked at it. That's what I want to see.
It's not like No Man's Sky because here's the thing. I expected to be
Yeah, I
disappointed
guess.
by Battlefront 2. I did not
guess,
expect to
yeah.
be disappointed by No Man's Sky.
That's very true. But Star Wars Battlefront 2 is getting to where they want to be, to where they're like, okay, we figured out what people want. Let's continue that and maybe come out with a third one.
Do you think so?
Maybe, or they just update this one. And
We'll
because
see.
Fallen Order did really well.
Yes.
So they're not going to touch it. Is there anything else in 2017? We're going to go into 2018 as a reminder in the next episode because we kind of messed around and want to make this a 2-hour episode. We can, but we're not going to.
Hellblade came out.
That was weird.
What Remains of Edith Finch? Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh, wow. How did I miss all these?
That was
Oh, there it is.
Horizon Zero Dawn was like early 2017.
Yeah.
Like February. End of.
Hellblade was interesting.
Yeah, I've got that
Because-
actually downloaded on my Game Pass. I want to try that.
I think Hellblade was the one where they had one of their animators play the character.
Really?
I think that's the one with the girl that has like the paint on her face, right?
Yeah.
She wasn't an actor. I think she was one of their animators or something.
Oh, really?
And they just like put her in the game and she did it. Like she wasn't a video game or voice actor. They just put her in like, we want to model you.
Interesting.
I might be making that up. I don't know. But I just remember that was like hearing about how well it did and how well it was, lauded. They were like, hey, she actually wasn't, what we had in mind, or we had her vision in mind. And she just animated herself or whatever the story is. But I just remember there was something about that game. I should give it a shot. The sequel's coming out.
2017, Club Penguin shut down.
Rip.
Rest in peace.
Damn, that sucks.
Rip.
I just remember everybody getting kicked out of that game for doing anything they wanted
Let's
to.
see. Divinity Original Sin, XCOM 2, the HD remake of Okami,
Yeah. Fun games.
Bayonetta.
Nothing.
I think that was for the Switch.
I think
Bayonetta
so.
1 and 2.
Yes.
Final Fantasy 14 Stormblood. We already said Horizon. Neo came out that year.
Yeah. LA Noire came to the
SteamWorld Dig 2.
all the new
honorable
consoles.
mention.
Lego Marvel Superheroes 2, which is great.
Stardew Valley was 2017 for the Switch. Dragon Quest 11 came out in 2017
Yeah.
in Japan, worldwide 2018 in the US,
I mean, just
and the rest of the world.
we're getting to the point where it's average games. We picked out the cool ones.
Well, these are the critically acclaimed ones that I'm looking through.
Yeah. I mean, at a certain point, there's a lot of games that come out, but only a couple that really get your attention unless you're into everything,
Right.
which that's fine. This has kind of been a scattered episode because we're tired.
It's the
Okay.
holidays.
It's the holidays.
Have-
We hope you have a good one. We're going to end it for today, actually,
Yep.
because we're going to do 18, 19, and 20 next week because we can cram that all in an hour. Absolutely. So,
If not more.
if not more. We hope you enjoyed this episode. We really did. If you didn't, makes total sense. If you didn't even get this far,
Also makes total sense.
That makes
but
sense
then you're
as
not
well.
listening to this.
yeah. So then it doesn't really matter if you got this far or not. If you did, thank you. This blows my mind that people even listen to this, that take the time out of their day to put me in their ears. It's just bonkers. But I'm Andy. That's Amar.
Hello.
And follow our Twitter at BCG Podcast, Instagram at Board Certified Gaming Podcast, Patreon.com/BCG Podcast, hashtag Comeback Karen.
I was really hoping you were going to say that. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Hashtag comeback Karen.
Karen, come back. I miss you.
Hashtag fuck Jorge. Comeback Karen.
You mean she's fucking Jorge?
What?
How dare you?
Oh no.
We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.